Throughout the Pokemon games, we have encountered many mysterious major characters. Some have been mysterious merely because of the aura that they have about them, and others because what we do know about them raises more questions. But there are two trainers, specifically in Gen 2, that are mysterious merely because of how little we know about them, and one of these trainers is the subject of today's episode. Karen. No, not that Karen, the cool one. The Dark-type Elite Four member of the Indigo Plateau and the final test within the Elite Four before challengers can then proceed to the champion. Previously, this gatekeeper role belonged to none other than Agatha, but it appears that she left the Indigo Plateau or perhaps retired within the 3 years between the events of Gen 1 and Gen 2. What's really interesting about Karen's position is that normally a new recruit to the Elite Four will just barely make it in and might occupy the first position. But Karen seems to have gotten all the way to the final spot very quickly at the age of 25, which is a testament to her strength and resolve. Karen's love for Dark-type Pokemon apparently comes from their strength as well as how wild and tough their image is. Her Dark-type Pokemon also match her emphasis on humor and perhaps even darker humor. When the protagonist first meets her, for instance, she says, "I am Karen of the Elite Four. You're Ethan? How amusing. I love Dark-type Pokemon. Think you can take them? Just try to entertain me." As you can tell, she places a heavy emphasis on humor and entertainment. This need for entertainment is reflected in the Pokemon Adventures manga when, for instance, the masked man is kidnapping several people and Karen decides to go to him willingly just out of sheer boredom. The darker side of her humor is represented in the Pokemon Monsters manga as well, where she apparently told a joke so funny that all the other Elite Four members fell off the building in laughter. Despite how little we know of her, Karen became a fan favorite very quickly, and this can primarily be attributed to her philosophy when it comes to training Pokemon. Karen is the owner of one of the most famous lines in all of Pokemon history. After she's defeated, she has this to say: "Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, that is only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers should try to win with their favorites. I like your style. You understand what's important." As such, Karen has become sort of a hero when it comes to fans around the world who appreciate using underrated Pokemon, and I'm certainly no exception here. Having made it so far so quickly despite not merely focusing on pure strength, we know that Karen has a natural talent and resourcefulness that's nearly unmatched among the major trainers in the game. But how powerful is she really? It's time to find out how strong this Elite Four member is by looking at all of Karen's appearances in the main series games to construct her best possible team. It's time to find out her true power. The first time we can battle Karen is of course in the Generation 2 games Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where she serves as the final Elite Four member before we can challenge the champion, Lance. After professing her love for Dark-type Pokemon, Karen accepts our challenge where she starts off with a level 42 Umbreon, followed by a level 42 Vileplume, a level 44 Murkrow, a level 45 Gengar, and finally a level 47 Houndoom. Interestingly, despite there being two other potential Dark-type Pokemon she could have had back in this generation, Sneasel and Tyranitar, she instead has the Vileplume, which seems to be a rather odd choice, and a Gengar, which is a little bit more understandable since Ghost is somewhat related to the Dark-type, at least thematically. The next time we can battle Karen occurs in the Gold and Silver remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where she can actually be battled on two separate occasions unlike the originals. Our first battle is under the same circumstances as the originals, where she serves as the fourth Elite Four member. Ironically enough, she has the same 5 Pokemon at the same levels, however they of course all have their abilities now, and her Houndoom now holds a Citrus Berry, making it a much tougher challenge. However, Heart Gold and Soul Silver also gave us the opportunity to rematch Karen after we've collected all 16 badges, in which she's become far more powerful with several new additions and developments on her team, higher levels, great movesets, and a full team of 6 this time around. In this rematch, Karen starts off with a brand new level 62 Weavile, followed by a new level 62 Absol, a new level 62 Spiritomb, her Houndoom now at level 63, a now fully evolved Honchkrow at level 64, which we previously only saw as a Murkrow, and finally her Umbreon now at level 64 as well. What's really interesting is that although Houndoom is technically her official signature Pokemon, Umbreon has since become her mascot in most Pokemon media, and this is represented by the shift where Umbreon is now her last Pokemon in this rematch, otherwise known as her ace, whereas in the originals it was her Houndoom. Now there is one more important development for Karen's Pokemon that actually occurs in the Pokemon Masters game, which, as we showed in Silver's True Power episode, actually does reflect canon developments, since the Masters team is consulting with the Pokemon Company specifically for this reason. I think we'll save this development for when we actually overview her team though, but it is really cool. It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Using all of her appearances in the main series games, let's construct Karen's best possible team. The first pick for her team is going to go to her Gengar from her Gold, Silver, and Crystal Elite Four battle. But Sylph, you might say, it was only at level 45 in that battle. This is true. In the Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch, we don't see this thing. But given that 8 to 10 years have passed since then, Karen is known for just using her favorites, and the developers likely wanted to give her a full Dark-type team for that rematch. I think we can safely assume that Karen would have leveled this thing up to par with her other Pokemon since then, but just chose not to use it in that battle. 3 of her other Pokemon that she used in her original battle with Gengar all leveled up by 16 to 22 levels, and given her training philosophy, I don't see her letting one of her favorites just drop off the map, so I think we can safely assume this thing is around level 62 by now as well. In the full Pokédex Gen 8 metagame, Gengar is currently in the Overused or OU tier in competitive battling. Gengar's typing is incredible for this team. Not only is it immune to fighting, which is super effective against dark types, but it also resists the fairy type and has super effective stab poison coverage against it too. Although Gengar's defenses are just okay, it has incredible speed, insane special attack, and solid offensive stab coverage, making it an amazing special sweeper. With moves that Karen has had on it like Focus Blast for coverage, Destiny Bond for utility, and the potential for Stab Shadow Ball, Stab Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, Giga Drain, and Thunderball for coverage, and other utility moves like Hypnosis, Confuse Ray, and Substitute, Gengar is an offensive monster with insane coverage, surprising utility, and is the most crucial aspect of this team, which brings it all together type-wise. The second pick is going to go to Karen's Weavile from her Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch team, in which it's at level 62. Weavile is currently in the UU-BL tier, meaning it's banned from UU but doesn't quite make the Overused or OU tier by usage. Weavile has been a consistent threat in the UU and OU tiers since its introduction in Gen 4, and it's easy to see why with insane speed and attack stats and great offensive typing. Karen already has an amazing moveset on it with Stab Ice Punch, Stab Priority Ice Shard, Stab Night Slash, and Low Kick for coverage, but Knockoff would be a great replacement for Night Slash if she's able to get it. Weavile is an amazing offensive addition to any team, but just has to look out for 4 times effective fighting type moves specifically on this one, which is helped by some of her other Pokemon like Gengar, which can switch in on them when expected. The third spot on Karen's best team is going to go to one of her 2 signature Pokemon, her Umbreon from her Elite Four rematch team, in which it was at level 64, one of her highest level Pokemon. Umbreon is currently in the UU tier in competitive and provides a great specially defensive wall function and utility function for this team. Umbreon has insane HP, defense, and special defense stats with mediocre attack stats and speed. Just like Karen uses it in-game, Umbreon's purpose is to stop the opponent in their tracks. Karen has had great and really annoying moves on it like Curse, Confuse Ray, Double Team, Sand Attack, Mean Look, Stab Payback, and Stab Priority Sucker Punch, but it can also benefit from other moves like Toxic, Protect, and Stab Foul Play. The fourth member of this team is going to go to Karen's other signature Pokemon, her Houndoom from her Heart Gold and Soul Silver rematch battle, in which it's at level 63. And this is where things get really interesting. In Pokemon Masters, Karen is shown to have the ability to Mega Evolve this thing, making it a Mega Houndoom. Mega Houndoom is currently in the RU-BL tier, meaning it's banned from RU but doesn't quite make the UU tier by usage. With absolutely insane special attack and great speed along with 90 and everything else but HP, Mega Houndoom is a special attacking beast with decent defenses too. Karen already has a phenomenal moveset on this thing. Nasty Plot to raise its special attack even higher if it gets the chance, Stab Flamethrower, and Stab Dark Pulse along with Sludge Bomb for coverage against opposing fairy types which otherwise might cause some trouble. Mega Houndoom is definitely a staple for this team and quite a surprising addition overall. The second last pick is going to go to Karen's Honchkrow from her Elite Four rematch team, in which is at level 64. Honchkrow currently stands in the RU tier and has amazing HP, attack, and special attack stats. Although its base stat spread isn't ideal, Honchkrow does add some typing variety to the team to help against fighting types which might otherwise cause some trouble for the whole team, aside from Gengar of course. With moves like Stab Priority Sucker Punch, Stab Drill Peck, and Thunder Wave to paralyze the opponent, along with the potential for Stab Brave Bird, Superpower for more coverage against Rock and Steel types, and Taunt to prevent status or hazard moves like Stealth Rock or stat boosting moves even, Honchkrow definitely provides some much needed diversity on this team. And the final spot on Karen's best team is going to go to none other than her Vileplume from her Gold and Silver original Elite Four team, in which it's at level 42, but is probably around level 60 by now as per the rest of her team's level curve. Vileplume is currently in the RU tier in competitive battling and has an amazing special attack stat, as well as between 75 and 90 in everything but speed. On this team specifically, Vileplume would serve really well as a physical wall in conjunction with having Umbreon as a special wall. Karen has Moonlight for recovery, Stab Petal Dance, and Stab Acid on hers when we first see it, but it could very well have been updated with Stab Giga Drain, Stab Sludge Bomb for fairies, Growth to increase its special attack even further, and possibly Strength Sap or Sleep Powder too. Vileplume rounds out this team extraordinarily well by resisting common team threats like Fairy and Fighting, and is also able to hit them back pretty hard too. Although this is definitely Karen's best team, she does have a couple other Pokemon that are worth mentioning and would be put in place of Gengar and Vileplume in the low chance that they're not up to par yet in terms of levels. The first is her level 62 Spiritomb, which is definitely a good Pokemon but is outclassed by Gengar in that ghost type role. Finally, her Absol is a really cool Pokemon but not great competitively without its Mega, and her team is already stacked with physical dark types like Honchkrow and Weavile. I just have to note that one of the Japanese exclusive trading card game sets, Pokemon Versus, has a card called Karen's Tyranitar, which would be absolutely amazing. But of course, this isn't confirmed in the main series canon. Maybe one day. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed on this one. Well, there we go everyone, we have discovered Karen's true power and unveiled her strongest team in the main series games. If you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to more from this series, please be sure to leave a like, share it on social media, and subscribe with notifications on by hitting that bell icon if you haven't already. All forms of support help a ton and are super appreciated. Don't forget to comment down below with what trainer you wish to see featured next. The comment with the most likes will pick the trainer for the next week's episode and will be featured on screen. Before we go, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you enjoy my content and would like to support the channel and get some cool perks, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. This has been Spectre, and I'll see you guys next time for some more True Power.